This is Hillary Butler. Gets in there for a tackle for a loss of 8. Just looking back, he's a big, strong linebacker with excellent
It's
speed.
your boy Hill B.
Hillary Butler
Welcome to
making a
Back in
tackle
the
for
Game
loss.
2010. Mixtape Volume 1.
Butler.
Yeah.
Back
Do it like this, man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Young Sash. I'm here with Hillary Butler, otherwise known as Hill B.
Yeah.
Gonna talk a little bit about his mixtape, Back in the Game. A little bit about your history and where you come from and what you're trying to do and what you are doing. And we're gonna hopefully get in some depth about some things. I know people probably have a few questions, and whatnot. So anyway, we're gonna start it off, man. First of all, how did you transition from Hillary Butler to Hill B? That's what I want to know first off.
Really, it was just a natural progression. Everybody called me Hill B, really just because of Hillary Butler, shortening it down, Hill B. And then just the whole Hill B personification probably just came from just being my own, having my own style, being a wild individual, and from whether it's music or sports, I've always been outspoken, loud, and wild, and fun with it, and in your face with it, that kind of person. So that's really where you get the transition from, which I try to separate now, because Hillary Butler is more about business, and Hill B is about letting loose and having fun. So that's what it's about.
Okay, nice. So originally, where do you come from? How did you make your way up to Washington? I know you're from California originally. How do you make it up to Washington and areas that you live in and all that?
Originally born and raised in San Francisco, in the Field Mall.
In the Bay?
In the A, Filthy Mall.
Okay.
So, I got a whole lot of West Coast flavor. That's just naturally in me, obviously, with all the pioneers that come from the Bay Area. Some of my cousins, like Eazy-E, still, some of my, rest in peace, Eazy-E. Some of them still my cousin, like Andre Nicotina, still a Bay Area legend, still repping it.
Okay.
So. Yeah,
nice.
So, man, and just, my dad was military. So we traveled all around, and just being born and raised in San Francisco, man, I traveled in Germany when I was a little kid, Kansas as a kid, Ohio, man, all over. Then I moved back finally to San Francisco right before we moved up here, and then my dad got stationed up here military, and that's how we got settled up here, and that was really my junior year in high school. So I got to come through and live the Tacktown life as a little knucklehead.
Oh yeah.
And grow up with and watch all the stuff and watch how how Tacoma changed and evolved with all of the kind of California rush that came up here, and all of the stuff and the gang banging and all that kind of stuff that started, and just kind of watching how everything evolved. But man, it's been a kind of a ride.
So tell us about that.
Part of it was me, and then part of it was my peers that was into the gang banging and everything. Everybody kind of saw that, man, I got talent, so just keep you away from all the stuff that we doing, man. Let us go ahead and do all this other stuff. Right. You got a career, you got a future ahead of you.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't really even if I did want to get involved, they wouldn't let me get involved. So that kind of helped, and then me just having the drive and the want to do more and get up out the hood. Half the homies in the hood, they either go to jail or end up dying, and that's always a trend in the transition. So trying to just avoid that and stay out of it, and knowing that I had a talent, and really I didn't really think music was gonna be my talent. I always thought that everyone pushing me out of doing the gangs and all that stuff. They pushed me into sports, so that's how I really got into sports. And when we moved up to Washington, actually when we moved up here, my junior year in high school, I was always hoop. And back in Cali, I was more like a guard type. Moved up here, they had me playing as a center, the big man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But my high school coach saw me as a football player and said, man, you got a better chance of not playing basketball. You think about the odds in basketball and the odds in football. You got better chances at making it in football. Let's get you out on the football field. And really, before that, only football that I played was Pee Wee or Pop Warner football in the Bay Area, and I was always thinking I was gonna do hoop. snatched me up, Coach Dick Zakovich. That's my homie, Coach Dick Zakovich. He said, let's get you on the football field. My junior year, and the rest was pretty much history. Ended up getting a scholarship from the University of Washington.
Yeah.
Went there for the 5 years. I graduated in 4 years. Degree in public relationships.
Oh yeah.
Public relations. I'm thinking about public relations.
Yeah.
But
Wow,
nah,
dude.
and you know, and then just getting a lucky break that a lot of people don't even get, being a good enough athlete to get a chance to go on and continue their career in the NFL.
Yeah.
So. It was wild.
I mean,
wild,
you know, you come from living in, you know, Lakewood, Tacoma, and you know, then going to UW, and you're still staying in the area as a Seahawk. I mean, how is that, man? That's
Well, luckily the transition was kind of easy because you get a little bit of a taste of it going from high school to college, so
Yeah.
it's not really a bigger of a shock. The transition from college to NFL is just really more of the best, getting a chance to move on. So that transition isn't that big of a shock, but luckily enough, you know, I got a chance to come back to Seattle. I actually was a journeyman as an NFL linebacker, bouncing around from San Francisco 49ers, who sent me to the Denver Broncos. Luckily enough, that was a disappointment because I'm from the Bay Area, and I got a chance to play with the Niners, but ended up having to go out to the Denver Broncos, and you know, as I guess a consolation to that, I ended up winning the Super Bowl with the Broncos. So you know, it wasn't too bad. I didn't really lose too much with that. But then coming from the Broncos, I ended up coming back out here to the Seahawks in '98, and that was the best part because I got a chance to play more as a Seahawk. As a Broncos, I was behind Bill Romanowski.
Ah, okay.
He wasn't never coming out the field. Romo was always on the field. So you know, I got a chance to play out here as a Seahawk. So that was fun, and being back here, being at home. Having my kids come out here and see me, the family come watch me and play. All of the homies come and watch. It was fun.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah. A lot of people. I knew you did a little thing with the Broncos. I didn't know anything about San Francisco though. I didn't know nothing about 49ers, but I know you came from the Broncos to Seattle. So that's a history lesson in itself. You know, he went from the 49ers to the Broncos, winning Super Bowl, to coming to the Seahawks. So that's cool, man.
I'll give you a little bit even more of a history lesson.
Okay.
Jacksonville Jaguars, the inaugural season, as an expansion team, I was one of the original 10 with the Jaguars.
Oh,
so,
wow.
And got my picture in the Canton Hall of Fame, for the Football Hall of Fame, being one of the original 10 with the Jaguars. Actually, the first linebacker ever signed in the Jacksonville Jaguars history.
Wow.
And so that's a little bit of history as well. But,
Yeah.
Like I said, I traveled all around NFL Europe records as a linebacker for the Frankfurt Galaxy with most tackles in the season, most tackles in the game, and I was getting it in when I played. Unfortunately though, injuries is what ended for me. So I had surgeries on both shoulders, both knees, 4 broken toes, hernia surgery.
Damn.
You know, I'm big now, but when I played, I was undersized, but I was fast. I was a 4.3. When I got hurt, I slowed down to a 4.5. But still, that's a fast linebacker. So, you know, but when the big dudes get a hold of you, I was kind of easy to break. So, you know, I had to give it up, and that's when I fell back into the music.
Okay.
Yeah, more money, more money. My first baby mama took all my dope from me. No joke, I had to start getting dope money. And them feds came and
What I
took
want
all
to
that
know
dope.
is, there's a lot of people that talk about, you know, people with success, you know what I'm saying, coming up and you know, supposedly getting all this money, and they're in a comfortable spot, and you know what I'm saying, they're looking from the outside in, not really seeing everything. You know what I'm saying, you did a little bit of time in prison for a situation that occurred. Like, how do you respond to people who scrutinize people, you know, that come from successful things to, you know, resorting to doing, you know what I'm saying, some crimes, things like that? How do you respond to that?
Really, the first thing you do is listen.
Yeah.
The second thing you do is, man, you can't really blame them because they don't really know. It's just, all you're fed into, everything you're supposed to believe. Man, this dude is up here. He's on the Super Bowl team. He got a Super Bowl ring. You know, he driving a Jaguar. Oh man, he gotta be making all this money. What's up with all that, man? But you know, in my situation, you know, I came from, I was an undrafted rookie free agent. You know, I was a backup in my whole NFL career. You know, behind some Pro Bowlers, Bill Romanowski. Chad Brown with the Seahawks, Ken Norton, Gary Plummer with the Niners, you know, so I never really got those big contracts, and you know, I made good money, yeah, you know, I was making good money, but coming from the hood, man, you're not used to that, and unfortunately in my situation, I had everything taken away, and not really taken away, I sacrificed to make sure my family was taken care of, just so I could, you know, go out and do it again, and do whatever it takes just to make sure they are taken care of, you know, so. It's unfortunate that, you know, it came in the wrong way, you know, because I went about it the wrong way of doing it, and, you know, just kind of falling back and coming from the streets, knowing that, man, that easy connection, everybody I grew up with, they doing that.
Yeah, so
man,
it's right there.
It's right there, easy access. You know, it wasn't hard to really just, you know, pick up a phone and say, man, what's going on? Oh, nothing, man. You in a tough situation. I'm about to go do this. You know, you want to come get down? You know, let's go woo. You know, and unfortunate, you know, wrong place, wrong time, doing the wrong thing. You do the crime, you gotta do the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, here I am now.
Yeah, exactly. See, yeah, a lot of people, all the people out there, they're doing some shit that they probably shouldn't, and I'm one of them people that used to do shit, you know. Take it from him, man. Take it from me. Take it from that everybody that you see out there that's, you know what I'm saying, getting in trouble for shit that, you know, probably is unnecessary. There's other ways to get that money. And actually, right now, we're about to get into another way to make that money.
Right.
I want to talk
back in the game, the pride of the 2-5 Trey, man. Lakewood all up in your area, by way of the Yay, San Francisco City, man.
back in the game. This is a good mixtape, man. And I say that because there's a lot of mixtapes out there, man. They're garbage, straight garbage. You know what I'm saying? And something I can say about this is the high quality. It's good quality. You know what I'm saying? People make mixtapes, they just throw them out there. There's no quality, no time and effort put into them. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
really.
you know, this is it sounds like an album. You know what I mean? Like the quality of it. You got some good features on here. You got E-Dog. You got you know, Wojak from Tacoma. It's, you know, he's one of my favorites from Criminal Nation. I was a little kid when they came out, so you know, that's yeah. So I mean, you got, you know, tell us about a couple of these cats on here. Knucklehead Banger, Fugitive Felon, Kings, like you know.
Starting off with Knucklehead Banger, man, that's my homie that kind of really is, even though he's only a couple days older than me, that's my big brother. I call him my big brother because when I first got into the music game, I got into the game from my boy and my college roommate Baldy. And Baldy is a legend in the game from Cali. He's a producer for New Breed, The Hustler, Shaquille O'Neal back in the days. I mean, you know, he's been in the game. Producer with Meech Wells, who's one of Snoop's producers. You know, so he's well known, and he was doing this thing up in Canada. And actually, I just got hurt from football, and I've always been hip hop. I grew up at, you know, in the Bay Area, and as a b-boy, San Francisco Street Breakers, as a graffiti artist, I tagged Tour OTC. You know, that was a famous group up there, and actually Universal Writers up here, when I first moved up here, you know, so I was always into hip hop and always rapping in high school and everything like that. So I always had skills. And Baldy was like, man, come to this show, I'm about to do this show. It was a Canadian Cup up in Canada, whatever they call it, the Canada Cup or whatever it's called up there. And it was a big ass crowd, and he was like, man, go out there and spit a verse. And right in the middle of a set, I'm spitting my little verse. I just went out there and spit a 16, freestyle some shit, and the crowd went wild. And I was like, shit, I gotta like this shit, okay. And from then on, he hooked me up with Knucklehead. And we ended up forming a group called Alibi, me, Knucklehead Banger, and rest in peace, Knucklehead's cousin, Dirty Red. And man, we banged out like 5 albums on Hard Times up in as an independent Canadian label up in Canada.
Really?
You know, getting big radio play, concerts, over hundreds of shows, opening up for everybody that came up there. Snoop, E40, I mean everybody, and they was all connected with us. You know, so we was all getting it in big up there. Digital Underground, Shock G, you know, all them, and man, that's kind of how, you know, everything kind of went down.
Yeah, that's crazy. I need to get a hold of those albums, man. I'd like to hear some of that
so
shit.
I had to when I started doing. Unfortunately, with Hard Times, man, with my boy, rest in peace, Dirty Red, when he got shot and killed, the record label kind of fell apart, and everybody kind of split their ways. And back then, I was just really rapping. I wasn't even producing or nothing. But Knucklehead and Baldy kind of took me under their wings, and just being around them all the time with them kind of crafted me into start producing and then engineering and all them. So naturally, when I got off and did my own little solo project, I had to give love to the homie and bring him back and get him on, you know, all the tracks that I'm doing now. So that's why Knucklehead's on there, and Fugitive the Felon, that's the homie, that's Knucklehead's protege from All Purpose Production. That's the homie, Fugitive the Felon. We got, you already know, of course, E-Dog, that's Sir Mix-a-Lot's homie. You know, shouts out to E-Dog, Rhyme Cartel Records. You know, who else I got on there? Of course, General Wojak, the legend. You know, what's up, Wo? Then I got my homeboy Real, he's an R&B singer. I got him singing on there. You know, it's I got, and then another feature, 2 more features I got on there that I actually shot a video for. I Swear, produced by Jack the Ripper, a college up-and-coming producer up in Seattle. But the MCs on it, Kings, he's a well-known up-and-coming artist up in Seattle also. MC, he was actually voted the best MC in 2010 from the Seattle Hip Hop Weekly. So he's an up-and-coming dude to look out for, Kings. And then also TC Islam on there. That's actually Africa Bambaata's son. That's the Prince of Hip Hop. Really? So, you know, that's the Prince of Zulu Nation. So, man, that's why I had to get him on there. So, you know, there's some cool features on there. I had to feature a couple of my beats that I produced. You know, and everything, like you said, I'm glad you recognized that, because I did put time into it. After I got out, I was hungry, of course, wanted to get back into the game. And man, I produced everything, I engineered. I didn't produce everything, but I engineered everything. You know, I'm a tech. And all that is all me.
So you do this shit yourself.
I do everything myself, man.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I do this shit myself too. That's what you should do.
Exactly.
I mean, you collect everything. You don't have to share shit. You know what I'm saying?
In the Puget Sound, Lover J, he'll be back in the game. Know the name.
So you got DJ Lover J hosting the mixtape.
That's the homie.
See, that's a friend of mine. We've been knowing each other for a few years, and you know, we're real good friends. And how did you come about, you know, knowing DJ Lover J to get him to host your mixtape? Because he did a good job on this shit.
Oh man, he did a real good job, man. Actually, I got in touch with DJ Lover J years ago with my affiliation with the Zulu Nation. Again, I'm not a Zulu, but I've had ties to everybody in the Zulu Nation. Again, that's why TC Islam is on there. And Lover J, DJ Lover J, he's a Zulu. So man, and we've been working for years now, man. And he did a good job for me actually when I went down of keeping a good ear to the street and getting it back to me and keeping my name out on the streets and everything. So when I got out, he had the ideas of, man, let's put some projects together. Let's go down and banging them out. So yeah, that's how I had to get the homie over there.
Oh yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a real good dude. He helps me out a lot. I know that, you know, and he's a good dude to network with and just to kick it with. Yeah. And
he's well respected, man, from Cali up to Canada.
Yeah, he is. He does a lot of things in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean,
live from I-5.
Yeah,
so it's just natural to kind of I'm Mr. I-5. That's live from I-5. Combine them, man. We come up with back in the game.
That's what it is.